Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I am bringing you a tag video. I was tagged in this back in November during West End Reads, and it is of course the West End Reads book tag. So this is an original tag that was created by Chloe at Persistent Bookworm, who also created and runs the readathon West End Reads, which was so much fun, and I'm very excited to see what is done on the next round. Very excited. So I have the questions in front of me. I have books picked for all of them. So let's just go for it. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading out the prompts. So the first one is Beauty and the Beast, and the song is Be Our Guest, a book that's really trying to impress. So for this, I have picked Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. Now, this is already a beautiful cover. However, this is the Illumicrate edition. So this is the standard cover for the hardback. But then if you look at the edges, and then there's more. There is more, because if you take the dust jacket off, it is a whole beautiful book cover, even without the dust jacket. If this is not trying to impress, I don't know what is. And the book itself is absolutely incredible. This was a 5-star. I read this in early 2022. And it was a 5-star for me. I absolutely adored it. And it is definitely a favourite. And it is definitely trying to impress, because that is absolutely stunning. Next, we have Legally Blonde. The song is So Much Better. And the question is, a book you love by an author you disliked before. Now, this is really hard because I don't really have authors that I disliked and then loved. I can't think of any. I'm sort of stretching this a bit. I'm going with Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, because whilst I didn't exactly dislike the Caraval series, it was a bit of a disappointing ending for me personally. The first book was okay, the second book was amazing, and then the third book was like a letdown for me. So whilst I wouldn't say I disliked it, I was disappointed, and this is the closest I can fit to this prompt, because I absolutely loved Once Upon a Broken Heart. It was one of my favourite books last year, and or the year before actually. It was one of my favourite books the year before. And it was just, I just love it. It's so good, but I was disappointed by the previous work by this author. Next we have The Cher Show, If I Could Turn Back Time, a book you wish you hadn't read. If you've been watching my vlogs lately, you're going to know. It's Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. So disappointed in this. I can't go into it again, because I'm actually still so angry and upset that I hated this. Yes, hated. So we're going to not talk about it anymore. Next we have Cabaret, and the song's Maybe This Time, and the question is an author or book series you're willing to give another chance. Now this is an author. Now again, I'm sort of stretching it with this. So it is Sarah Holland. So I read her Everless and Evermore duology, and I liked it. It was okay. Havenfall was my favourite book of 2020. And then I read Phoenix Flame, and it was the most disappointing thing I've ever read in my life, but only the end part. It was going so well. I was loving it. It was like almost a 5-star, and then the ending just ruined it for me absolutely, completely. And I have never been more disappointed, apart from see previous question with Rule of Wolves. However, I am willing to give this author another try, because I have liked her work before. I have loved her work before. I don't hate Phoenix Flame. I was just a little bit disappointed in like something she decided to do near the end of the book. But overall, like, I'm willing to give this author another go, because I do think I enjoy her writing style. Next we have Newsies, which I have now seen and really enjoyed. The song is Watch What Happens, and the question is a series you can't wait to continue. This could be a lot of series on my shelf, but I'm going on with it, which is actually on my 30 books to read the year I turn 30, and that is Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. Why can I not remember the name of the book? I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone a few years back, and I absolutely adored it. It was incredible. I just haven't got round to this, just because I'm really bad at continuing and finishing series. I'm trying to get better, which is why this book is on my list for this year, because I really want to read it. I'm really excited to continue the series. I remember everything from Daughter of Smoke and Bones, so it's only fitting that I try and read this as soon as possible. Next up, we have Back to the Future, Johnny Be Good. And the question is, an oldie where I'm from, a classic. Now, if you know me, you know what book I'm going to hold up, but I thought I would just hold up a few of my editions of this book. Five of my editions. I thought I would hold up 5 of my 16 editions of this book. It is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's very, very easily my favourite classic. I adore it so much. I would like to reread it fairly soon because it has been a while. But I love all my editions. Yes, it's a problem. No, I don't care. Next up is Grease, We Go Together. And this is a book that's perfect for you. It's Anything by Ali Hazelwood. So I currently only own physical copies of The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain and Loath to Love You. I have, however, read Love Theoretically at this point because I was lucky enough to be granted an e-arc. And I read it immediately because of course I did. But literally every single one of her books so far have been perfect for me because they all have like tropes in them that I love. So this has fake dating. This has like enemies to lovers, forced proximity. These are all enemies to lovers and forced proximity. And then Love Theoretically is sort of enemies to lovers. There is fake dating, but not in the sense of the normal fake dating, which I can't really explain without spoiling, but it is very, very good. I love it so much. Like, all of her books are perfect for me. Like, so much. And this one started off as a Reylo fanfic, which if you know anything about me, fanfic. And Reylo fanfic to be exact. So yeah. Oh look, Becca found a way to put The Love Hypothesis into a video. Shock horror. Next up is My Fair Lady. The song is With a Little Bit of Luck and the prompt is a 5-star prediction. Now, you might be a bit confused when I hold this book up because the last book I read by this author, I actually DNF'd, but it is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. Now, I've been told by multiple people this has similar writing style and vibes to The House in the Cerulean Sea, which I absolutely adored. Wolfsong, which I DNF'd, is a slightly older book and it's very much different vibes and writing style. So, basing it on that, I do think this is going to be a 5-star based on my love for House in the Cerulean Sea. I really hope it's a 5-star or at least a high 4-star because I absolutely adored House in the Cerulean Sea and this sounds so good and I cannot wait to read it. And it's on my February TBR and I'm buddy reading it. Next we have Bonnie and Clyde, Too Late to Turn Back Now. And for this, it is a series you kind of want to give up on, but you're too invested. So for this, I'm choosing the Secret Circle series by LJ Smith. So this is actually a 3-book series. Each of these books has 1.5 and it stresses me out that they did it this way. Either do it in each individual book or bind it up in 3 in 1. You didn't need to split the second book into half anyway. I have read The Initiation, which is the first book. The second book is The Captive and the third is The Power. And I wasn't a massive fan of The Initiation. I do think I should have read these before watching the TV show, but I watched the TV show when it came out years ago, you know, before it was cancelled after 1 season and left on a massive cliffhanger. And obviously these are very different to the TV show, a bit like with the Vampire Diaries. They're like, I've heard they are nothing like the TV show. And when I read The Initiation, I feel like I didn't go into it enough with the whole mindset of this is nothing like the TV show. Don't think about the TV show. And I do want to go into the second and third book with the mindset, this isn't a TV show. Ignore that. This is a book series. So as much as I don't want to read them because I didn't love the first one, I feel like I'm too invested in this series and the fact that Liv went out of her way to try and get me these covers so that I had matching covers. So I want to do it at least for her. And they are on my 30 books to read the year I turn 30. So I have that motivation. And the final one is Moulin Rouge, El Tango de Roxanne. And it is, you love it, but it causes you pain. This could be many books, but I'm going to go with the book that makes me cry more than I think any other book has ever made me cry. And that is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. It's the third book in the Dark Artifices series. And I can't even tell you anything about why this makes me cry. It just rips my heart out a hell of a lot. But I absolutely love it. It is a comfort series for me, even though I know how much it's going to rip me apart. But I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't change a thing about it, even though it hurts a lot. Okay, so I'm getting distracted by seagulls flying outside. Sorry. That was my West End Reads book tag. I don't know who to tag, because the usual people I tag, Chloe tagged when she tagged me. So I'm going to tag, because I don't think you need to be a fan of musical theatre to do this tag. So I'm going to tag, and you don't have to do it. I'm rambling now. I'm going to tag Chloe at Chloe Reads Books, Lottie at Lottie's Library, and Andy at A Zebra Reads. I'm going to tag those 3 people. If anyone else would like to do it, please feel free to tag me. I would love to see your answers. Make sure you tag Chloe from Persistent Bookworm as well, because it's obviously her tag, her original tag. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.